Hey guys, back again with another Things I Wish I Knew video for the Demon Princes now, after doing one for the Ogres. I've been playing a lot of Demon Prince lately. I've really been enjoying it for a couple different reasons, and hopefully you'll garner what those reasons are after I go through all the stuff that I know. So anyway, I think I'm going to start off with the Demon Prince's economy and building synergies, and then I'll get into more stuff about the Demon Prince himself, his armor, and a little bit about his skill tree, and then anything else that comes to mind along the way. Alright, so first things first. Um, as the Demon Prince, you can dedicate a city to any one of the four Chaos Gods. Now, besides just dedicating it for the glory, you might want to dedicate your cities to other demons for different reasons. So, first off, corruption. Tzeentch corruption and Slaanesh corruption are both very good for the Demon Prince. Alright, so Slaanesh corruption gives plus 10% income from all buildings. Now this isn't huge, but you know, I'm making 3,255 income at the Doomkeep, so it's like an extra 300 gold. You know, that's one more unit. So because of how easy it is to get Slaanesh corruption, it's worth doing in most provinces. If you dedicate a single settlement to Slaanesh and then build the corruption building, you should be able to get 100 corruption regardless of whatever other corruption you have there. Okay, now moving on to Tzeentch corruption. Now this in my opinion is pretty important for the Demon Prince, and I'll explain why. So at 100 Tzeentch corruption, you get this bonus where your chance of winds of magic increase in strength when changing plus 30%. Now, I'm not exactly sure how often the winds of magic change, but the reason the winds of magic being strong, being important is twofold for the Demon Prince. First off, the Demon Prince is a demon and has a demon army. Therefore, you have these debuffs depending and buffs depending on what your Winds of Magic reserve is at. So for example, my Winds of Magic is depleted right now. And that means that because I am below 34 Winds of Magic, I have minus 5% casualty replenishment rate, minus 5% leadership, and minus 10% physical resist for my whole army. Now this is extremely important because demons get 20% physical resistance as a base. So losing half of that means that they take 10% more damage, which is pretty significant, especially if the enemy has a lot of armor piercing units, because physical resist does the best versus that. The second reason, the second reason it being important is because when you get 770 Tzeentch glory, it unlocks the teleport stance for all of your armies. This teleport stance consumes 40 winds of magic to use. So if you want to use the teleport stance, you need to have high winds of magic. So if you're defending the Doomkeep and using teleport stance, it's in your best interest to have a high winds of magic there. It also means that, say, if I'm fighting along the border against Kislev, if I teleport to attack somebody, I can then move back into my territory after winning that battle, losing that battle. Well, not losing, but I can teleport, attack them, and then after winning that battle, I can move back into my territory, change my stance to channeling, and then if I have tempestuous winds of magic, I would be earning 25 winds of magic a turn in my territory, which means that in 2 turns I've recharged all the winds of magic that I've used. So for that reason, I consider Tzeentch corruption to be the most important corruption behind Slaanesh corruption. And on top of that, you need magic to cast spells, of course. So there's always a bonus for that as well. Plus, at high winds of magic, you get an extra 4% campaign movement range. And the Demon Prince has no embed hero. There's no mobility hero. There's no cultists for the Demon Prince, which means your campaign movement range is going to be significantly lower than pretty much any other faction in the game right now. So this extra 4% movement range is pretty important. So trying to stay above 80, I believe it is. Yes. So staying above 80 winds of magic when you're not teleporting, of course, is pretty important. Now, just to mention along the way, this teleport stance, since we're talking about winds of magic and such, this teleport stance, it doesn't say it on the tooltip, but you can attack and ambush people with this teleport stance. If you read the flavor text, it says teleport throughout the world by passing impassable terrain with the opportunity to attack unsuspecting enemy armies. So if you have an enemy army in range, I don't think I do, unfortunately, to test this or show you guys. No, I don't believe I do. No, I do not. Unfortunate. Anyway, all you have to do is change into teleport stance, right click on the enemy, you will teleport to that enemy, and you will ambush them. It will cost you 40 winds of magic, but you will successfully ambush them and you will play out your ambush battle. After the battle is over, you will not be able to move, just like if you had used underway stance, so take that into account. However, it is very easy. Now, two things to remember. It's an ambush battle, which is huge, but also if you're ambushing someone, it acts as lightning strike. So you don't, as the Demon Prince, if you're trying to attack somebody, you don't need to spend in my opinion, you don't need to put points into lightning strike on your lords as the Demon Prince, because you already get free lightning strike with this teleport stance. The second point about teleport stance is that because it is an ambush battle and not a lightning strike battle, you can reinforce attacking by teleportation. So say I was going to teleport to this guy. Like say I had 2 armies in range. I could put this army outside his circle of influence, and I could teleport and attack him, and it would ambush him, and I would still get my reinforcements. Now this is important because say there is there a good example? I don't think so. Unfortunate. Anyway, say there's a second army. Say there's a second army outside of this city. I could move my reinforcements into reinforcement range, and then I could teleport ambush the army that is outside of the city, and that army would be isolated from the city's reinforcements, but I would still get my reinforcements. So it is a very, very useful and extremely powerful tool in isolating armies and taking out high priority armies without having to fight the reinforcements. Like imagine if this army was outside of Kislev, I could fight just this army instead of having to fight Kislev's 16 unit garrison and this army. So just always remember always remember to use that teleport stance, because it's one of the Demon Prince's most powerful tools. Especially when you combine what the Demon Prince's roster brings to the battlefield, because Tzeentch can do this as well, but you can use this teleport stance with a Khorne army. So you could have like 4 Blood Crushers, 5 Bloodthirsters, and a bunch of Exalted Bloodletters or something. You could teleport ambush someone, and they would be within melee range after walking like 10 feet as soon as you attack them. That is a huge advantage. And the versatility of that teleport stance with all 4 of the demon units rosters is just, in my opinion, the biggest strength of the Demon Prince. Okay, now moving back to the economy. I probably should have mentioned this before, but I got caught up in talking about the teleport stance and how much I love it. So one thing to note, I didn't notice this until I was like 70 turns into my Demon Prince campaign because I was blind, but the Demon Prince, his cities have 2 income buildings. You have a regular income building, pretty straightforward, but you also have the corruption building. Now, this is important because it gives corruption, it gives casualty replenishment rate, not that much, it gives hero capacity, which is nice, but it also gives conditional income when you meet said conditions. So, for example, Nurgle, when your growth is more than 200 per turn, or if you have 5 development points, I'm not sure. I assume development points is the same as population surplus, but I'm not certain about that. But you get an extra 200 income when you meet these requirements. For Zinch, you have to have tempestuous winds of magic, and then the easiest one to meet, in my opinion, is the Slaanesh one. The Slaanesh one only requires 50 control or more. Now this is super easy to get for two reasons. One, the demon prince does not suffer negative public order for corruption. You can have any corruption in the demon prince's areas, and he will not get a penalty for them. This is huge because it means that you can spam all sorts of corruption and you don't care. So there's no public order malice. The second thing is that the demon prince's control building not only gives control, it also gives a garrison. So you want to put the control building in almost every settlement because it gives a massive garrison. I have a 19 garrison in the Bay of Blades, 19 garrison in Altar of Crimson Harvest. I just have they're not walled, which is unfortunate, but the garrison is 19 units, and that's nothing to laugh at. And combine this with, now you can also combine these garrisons, these pretty sizable garrisons, with the fact that I don't have a way to prove this, but I'm almost 99% certain that the Demon Prince's cities actually spread plagues and not just the armies. For example, this plague, Bowel Steep, Bowel Steep is a plague, is this plague. None of my armies have this plague selected, yet this Skaven army was still infected by the Bowel Steep plague, and there's no Nurgle armies in sight except for me. So that leads me to believe that your cities, as the Demon Prince, spread the Bowel Steep plague by default. So your cities have the ability to deal attrition to enemy armies. Combine that with the attrition of just having chaos corruption, that means that your cities are actually pretty adept at defending themselves. And it will actually take a significant push by the enemy to take and hold your cities, because as soon as they're plagued, they stop replenishing. So even if they took the Tower of Crack, if they ended up being plagued, they couldn't push anything else because they would be too damaged and they would be taking attrition. So that's why it's so hard to. That's why whenever I play the early game, I make it a point to unlock those plagues as fast as possible. It's not as high a priority as teleport stance to me, but it's definitely a priority to unlock them because it lets you deal with how many armies are attacking you in the early game as the Demon Prince. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Right, I was talking about garrisons. I'm sorry. So by having all these control buildings here, it means your public order will always be incredible, and because your public order will always be incredible, it means you are almost guaranteed to meet the requirements of the Slaanesh income building. So if you want to make a province a money province, like a money earning province, I would suggest dedicating about 75% of the cities to Slaanesh, because Slaanesh corruption gives you more money. You are guaranteed to get the extra money from the Slaanesh corruption building, and those two things make it one of the best money-making demons to dedicate your cities to. I still dedicate one city at least to Tzeentch in each province so that I can get that extra Winds of Magic like I talked about before. But otherwise, I would dedicate to Slaanesh. Nurgle isn't terrible to dedicate to, because if you dedicate to Nurgle, eventually you will have the growth per turn or the development points. It would just take longer. It's up to you. I like the Nurgle mages, so I dedicate to Nurgle at enough cities to get enough heroes to use their mages, because I enjoy the Nurgle magic. Okay, this video is getting kind of long-winded, so I'm going to try and finish it up. Last thing to talk about is the Demon Prince himself. The Demon Prince himself and the Demonic Glory Tree. Alright, so first things first. If you dedicate to a specific god, one of the four, you stop earning glory for all the other gods as soon as you dedicate. So, for example, I have 1711 Tzeentch glory. As soon as I dedicate it to Khorne, my Tzeentch glory is locked here forever in this campaign. Another thing to note about Demonic Glory is that currently there's a bug in the game where if I'm not entirely 100% certain this is what is how it's caused, but apparently the consensus is that if you get to your final Demonic Glory unlock via passive glory income, so for example, this building earns 15 Khorne glory per turn. If you get to the final unlock of your glory from passive gain, it will bug out the final unlock. This is only for the final unlock. It doesn't bug out any of the other ones as far as I can tell. But I have had 2 campaigns now where my final unlock was bugged and it did not work. My Chaos Undivided campaign and one of my Tzeentch campaigns both bugged out due to that. So when you're getting close to unlocking your final glory, I would make multiple saves just to make sure that when you do unlock it, you have successfully unlocked it, because for some of these, it's extremely important. For Khorne, you get your Bloodthirster. For Tzeentch, you get your Lord of Change. And for Chaos Undivided, you get the Chaos Undivided perk at the end is extremely huge. It's minus 10% global upkeep, and it's minus 2% global recruitment duration for all units. It's very important, and if you miss out on it, it's really bad. So I would make sure to be careful when you're getting close to your final glory unlock. Alright, moving on. Sets. Let's talk about armor sets. So there are 2 armor sets per god in the first half of the Demonic Glory tree. Now for each god, one of these sets will give you recruit rank bonuses. For Khorne, both sets give plus recruit rank. And then for Nurgle, you get 1, Slaanesh you get 1, and Tzeentch you get 1. One thing to note here is that you also get a set for Undivided, for Chaos Undivided, that also gives plus 2 recruit rank. Now these sets can be combined. So here you go. I have my Fierce Prince set that gives plus 2 recruit rank for Khorne units. So I can equip that. And now I can go over here and I can equip the one from the Chaos Undivided Glory tree. There you go. Now I have plus 4 recruit rank to all units. So now I can recruit units at rank 7 because I have, or Khorne units specifically, sorry. Because I have plus 3 recruit rank from dedicating to Khorne. I have plus 2 from the Khorne armor set, and I have plus 2 from the Chaos Undivided armor set. So now I can recruit every Khorne unit at rank 7 for the Demon Prince. Another thing to note is that as soon as you recruit a Khorne unit at rank 7, you can see it's rank 7 here, you can go back and you can change your armor set back to the one you had before. And now, even though I don't have that bonus recruitment rank anymore, I've already queued the unit at rank 7, so I will recruit him at rank 7. This lets you keep, in the late game, this lets you keep the huge bonus of minus 60% upkeep for Khorne units in the Demon Prince's army, while also letting you recruit his units at rank 7. Another thing to note is that you can change your armor set whenever you want on the fly. So if you think an armor set's bonus is more valuable to you then another armor set's bonus, you can equip it for that fight and then swap it afterwards. So for example, I'm currently using the Bloodthirsty Corn, or the Bloodthirsty Prince of Corn set. Now, you might have noticed that I don't have any Gorebeast Chariots, Blood Crushers, or Skull Crushers in my Demon Prince's army. I am purely using this set for its upkeep bonus, and because this set gives the Demon Prince better melee stats. However, if you were being really tryhard about it, which of course you should be if you are in dire straits, you can equip this armor set. So this armor set gives plus 10 bonus to infantry for all Khorne units. So if I go here and I equip this set, I lose the Bloodthirsty Prince of Khorne bonus. However, now every unit in my army has a plus 10 bonus to infantry combined with a plus 8 bonus versus infantry from the Demonic Glory tree. So that means that every single unit in my army has a plus 18 bonus versus infantry. Look at this. Even my Chaos Halberds have an 18 bonus versus infantry. So my Halberds are almost better against infantry than they are against large units. So if you know you are going to get into a fight, you should probably equip this, and it's versus a lot of infantry. Like say you're fighting Kislev, and Kislev's got a bunch of Ice Guard, Tsar Guard, you know, the whole shebang. You can equip this armor set and give your whole army a plus 10 bonus versus infantry, which is a huge bonus. That is absolutely massive. Especially, like, look at the Bloodletters. They have a plus 27 bonus versus infantry. That's crazy. Just to put that in perspective, the base bonus versus infantry a Bloodletter has is only 9. So you are you are increasing that by what, 200%? By equipping that armor set and using the demonic and having the Demonic Glory skill tree up high enough. So that's just to show you how important it is to. You should be actively swapping the armor set of the Demon Prince depending on what your needs are. And then once the fight is over and I'm ready to swap back, or once the fight is over and I'm going to end my turn, I can re-equip this armor set, and now once again my army costs nothing because I have that upkeep reduction. Alright, this video has gone on long enough. My final ending tip, I might have mentioned this earlier, but I had a screw up in my recording and I had to re-record the video, so this might be overlapping. I'm not sure. It's all jumbled together in my head. But one thing to note about the plagues is they do not take effect until the next turn when you switch them. So if you switch to Vanguard deployment here, your army will not have Vanguard deployment until your next turn, even though it looks like this plague is active now. So don't swap your plague to this attack an army and think that your guys will have Vanguard deployment, because they won't. So just be mindful of that. Alright, I know this video was stupidly long, and I'm sorry that I'm not more concise and better at editing, but that is all I can think of when it comes to tips for the Demon Prince. I hope you guys enjoy your campaigns, and I hope that Nordland and the Wood Elves don't attack you as much as they attacked me in the first few turns. And good luck.